Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Africa, tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. America, tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze.
You are listening to African Father in America podcast by Simon Juwan live from Seattle, Washington, USA.
Thank you again for joining me for another session here of the Daily African Proverbs. We are now live and direct. We are on YouTube at Simon Juwan, and we do this every single day. Whenever we gather here in the Daily African Proverbs on Clubhouse, we make our ancestors proud, we make our ancestors smile, and we have a proverb today from Angola. Our proverb today is from Angola, and this proverb is also my latest Instagram post. You can engage with it over on Instagram. And you can also join us on Twitter. I will be live tweeting today's conversation as well. Whenever we gather here, we learn African wisdom by dissecting African proverbs. You know, we take one proverb, we share our interpretation about the proverb, and at the end of the 1 hour session, the hope is that we learn some African wisdom that we can approach our day with. So if you go to my Instagram, you'll find that my latest post is about this amazing Angolan proverb. The proverb says, "Don't despise the gnat. One day it will be a palm tree." Don't despise the gnat. One day it will be a palm tree. This is an Angolan proverb, but this proverb to me, it means that the little things, the little people, the people that you think are not meaningful to you today, and you are not prioritizing them in your life, are probably the people that are going to be very, very important to you tomorrow. When I say tomorrow, it's, next year, 5 years, 10 years. So don't despise the gnat. One day it will be a palm tree. To me, it means even the little kids that you have as your own children, the way that you treat them today is going to be so critical in the future, because how you treat them today, how you show them how to respect people, how you show them how to live with the elderly, how you show them how to treat each other, is how they are going to treat you, because one day you are going to become elderly to a certain extent where you will completely depend on people, just the way children depend on us right now. I'm a father of 3 girls, and yesterday my youngest daughter, who is 2 years old, went to kindergarten for the first time, and I've known her. I've spent almost every day with her since she was born, and so I expected her to freak out the moment I told her, okay, now you can go and be with your teacher and your other classmates. But she just looked back and waved and went, and it wasn't an issue at all. So, as a father, I was like, wow, I thought that you'd feel sad that you are not going to be home today. But she was just fine. And when I picked her up, she was just fine, There are so many stories that I can relate to today's proverb. I will share others later on. But first, I want to invite you all who are here with me to join me on stage if you'd like. And when you join me on stage, I'm going to share with you the proverb, and you are going to share with us your interpretation of this proverb. And again, there is never any perfect interpretation of these proverbs. There's always just a matter of trying. This space is always open for everybody, as long as you're also committed to helping us make our ancestors proud by dissecting these proverbs and gaining African wisdom, and also in the process helping to protect and preserve African culture. So that's why we are here, and I want to quickly introduce Holy Shannon, who is an amazing leader, poet, and she says that own your own mic. She's your brand. She says that your brand is your business and your business is your brand. She's podcasting she's podcasting, and she highlights issues that have a global reach. You're an author too, Holy. I didn't know this. She's the author of Zero to Podcast. Wow. Well, I would love to hear your interpretation of today's proverb that says, don't despise the gnat. One day it will be a palm tree. But before that, I just want to say thank you to Juwan Onyango Obunga, who has joined us on YouTube. And if you want to join us there, if you want to see my face, you can join us on YouTube as well. Again, my channel is Simon Javan Okelo. We have guests these days. So sometime, like yesterday, we had a guest. Her name was I can't remember her name now, but she was just an amazing individual to connect with. Now I have to pull her name because just forgive me for 1 second here. Lexi. Her name was Lexi, and she was just an amazing guest to host live on YouTube. But she was also in the clubhouse room. She's a motivational speaker, and she's just an amazing person to connect with. So if you are not in the room yesterday, you can also go to my YouTube channel and catch the entire conversation yesterday. Hey, Holly, nice to see you. The mic is yours. Thank you so much for being here.
Good morning, Simon. Thank you so much, and thanks for that lovely introduction. I should probably say that when I started on Clubhouse, you were one of the first people that I met. I can't recall if you came into my room or we happened upon a room together. It's too fuzzy now for me. But I just remember having such a great conversation with you. I think we have been in these rooms since around January together. And I've followed you on Instagram with your daily African proverbs and tried to jump in the rooms with you because I think they're so beautiful. So I just wanted to say that I feel like our friendship has been going for a while, and I'm really happy to continue to learn about you. So in regards to your proverb, it's so interesting to me because I think a lot of people see the beauty in the palm tree and they don't see beauty in the knot. And it's why we are drawn to that. But the truth is, there could be a lot of beauty in the knot. It could have a lot of potential, or it may always be a knot because it's not meant to be flashy and catch your attention with all those beautiful fronds and the bright green and bear fruit or whatever it's going to do. And it's so interesting to me if I look at it, you know, in terms of people, if you will, there's a lot of knots that have their beauty to them. And I think you have to look past the physical because I also think there's a lot of plastic fake palm trees out there that are trying to look beautiful so that you think that they're beautiful, but they're really not. So that was the first thing that sort of came to mind. And while it may not be deep, I'm so happy to sort of share in this conversation. And I think as other people start to probably say things far more profound than me, I think I probably will hear their vision of it and have more opinions. I will leave it with as I was walking through my city, which is DC, over the weekend, I actually was drawn to the knots and the root system of trees and was remarking at how beautiful they were. They almost looked like elephant trunks to me, and they had so much depth and life in them because they're part of the growth system. So, just sort of a strange little ironic thing that I actually pointed out this weekend. So, on that note, I thank you for the time on the stage. My name is Holly Shannon.
Thank you very much, Oli. This is Simon speaking. I'm grateful, and I'm also grateful for our friendship, really. And I love your interpretation, actually. One of the things you said that I picked up earlier was that there's beauty, in the nuts, and also the last thing you shared about, how you are actually seeing, you are seeing things that reminded you about this proverb, especially when you're walking in DC. I'm just grateful, and I want to go ahead and introduce my brother Andrew. Andrew has been a great supporter of the Daily African Proverbs, and Andrew was also deeply involved with organizing Africa Day. I haven't seen you in a while. I hope everything is fine with you. But Andrew is the generator of wealth, abundance, and philanthropy by growing global enterprises. And his life's motto is no regrets, no retreats, no reserves. Thank you so much for being here, my brother. I need to connect with you actually in the next week or so. There's a lot of exciting things I need to talk to you about. Anyhow, share with us your interpretation, Andrew, about today's proverb. Don't despise the nut. One day it will be a palm tree.
Hey, Simon, it is definitely great to be here. It's been a couple weeks, actually about a month. We actually started a new telecom business, and so I've been working on standing up that business, raising capital, and so actually today's when we get started with it. So I've been tied up. Definitely miss my time here in the Daily African Proverbs room. I really look to not miss this, just because it's a way of just reflecting and thinking in a different way. What this particular says to me is in a couple things. One, um, there's a verse in the Bible that says, "Do not despise small beginnings," and I relate that to entrepreneurs who are on the journey, and sometimes they, look at, "Hey, I'm starting my business in the garage," or, I don't have capital, whatever. But the issue or the thing is just to start, right? The idea that you have is the seed, it's the nut that can possibly grow into a great business. And when you exercise stewardship and you water that seed, because the nut is a seed, when you water it daily, and you parables of the the soils also, that's where ideas are, you plant it in the right soil, and it that seed will grow. And so that's what we want to do. So you don't want to um, cast aside a seed, because you never know, because in it there's potential, and your duty as an entrepreneur, as an individual, is to nurture that potential. And so for humans, the seeds that we have are the ideas, the thoughts. And if we act on those thoughts and we nurture it, it can really shift what we're doing in our lives. And and that's what I'm doing in business. One of the things that one of my mentors, Dr. Miles Monroe, always said about a seed: in the seed is a forest, right? Because in the seed, you have the ability to grow a tree, and then that tree has children of its own. And once those seeds get into the soil again, over time, that one seed could actually become a forest. And so what I'm saying is take advantage, don't neglect that idea, that seed that you have, plant it, and it will produce fruit for you. Nurture it, and it will grow way beyond what you can imagine. And with that, this is Andrew. I'm complete for now.
Wow, thank you so much, Andrew. If you nurture the seed, it will become a forest. I love that. I love that a lot. And thank you for being here with us again, Andrew. Congratulations on the new project that you just launched today. You're always launching something. We just need to connect. I need to learn more. Thank you again for being here. And to everyone who is joining us, welcome to the Daily African Proverbs. We are in the African Father in America Club, and this session is being recorded for the African Father in America podcast. We are live streaming on YouTube. Feel free to join us over there. And I'm really, really excited about today's session, especially because of how much of an amazing group of people we have in this room right now. So just a couple of things to note for those who are joining us for the first time. Once you share, we will move you to the audience so that we can create more space for others, and also just maintain the format of the Daily African Proverbs, which has been like that since January. And then I'm going to invite my co-moderators. I have my brother Ivnea, and I also have my wonderful sister here, Ash Diallo. I haven't seen Ash in a while. She was traveling. She was in Senegal. I think she's in Paris right now. But Ash has been an amazing contributor, especially on Fridays. On Fridays, we dedicate this space to our brothers and sisters who are French speakers. So again, welcome, Ash. Now I want to quickly introduce Ivnea so that Ivnea can introduce for us Toyoti and Sarah. And then Ash is going to introduce for us Bibi and Lexi Malone. And Lexi, by the way, I was actually sharing with people earlier on, everyone in the room, about our conversation yesterday. And I'm just so happy that you're here. I want to introduce Ivnea. My brother Ivnea is from Haiti and is an author. He is an author of an amazing book, Alike Regardless. That's the name of his book. You should check it out. He's a huge contributor to the Daily African Proverbs. He's been here with us consistently. And, I want you, Ivnea, to share with us your interpretation of this proverb from Angola. The proverb says, "Don't despise the nut. One day it will be a palm tree." Ivnea, please.
Thank you so much, my brother Simon. It's an honor to be here. Man, I'm also so happy to see brother Andrew. It's been a while, brother. So this proverb, "Don't despise the nut. One day it will be a palm tree." And I look at it in two different ways. And I like Andrew's interpretation. Don't despise the small things. When you look at it as a dream, that you have something that you're starting, a business, which is a small idea for now, and you shouldn't give up on that small idea and keep working at it. Keep uh, keep watering this plant that you have, because one day you will reap the good harvest. But I also look at it as something that, like a bad habit that you start. Whether this bad habit is alcoholism, drug abuse, and you may start it and you say, "Oh, I'm just trying this, just because." And I want you to look at it this way as well. Don't don't entertain the habits that you think that are small. Later, you might have some regret. That small habit that you have, it might become a big habit where you can't control it anymore. So I look at this proverb in two different ways. On a positive side, if you have a dream, a goal, a small business that you're working on, keep working at it because one day it will be big. It will be something very fruitful that's going to serve you, will serve your family, it will serve the entire community, and perhaps the whole world. So keep pushing at your dreams and keep working on your goals. At the same time, on the other side, the bad habits that you have, if you keep doing the same thing, working on that bad habit, it will become worse. So the way I look at that, we really have to really analyze what we work on, the nuts, the small things, because small things become big things. My name is Ivner, and I yield the mic to you.
Thank you, Ivnia. Please introduce for us Toyoti. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brother Simon. Yes, let me introduce our next speaker, Toyoti. And Toyoti, nice to see you again. Toyoti is a student of wisdom, and this is why Toyoti, you're here because there's a lot of wisdom being shared in this platform. And a history student. And please share with us, Toyoti, your interpretation of today's proverb.
Thank you, and I appreciate this room and everything you do day to day, Simon and Hubner. Um, my interpretation, I only heard the proverb maybe twice since I've been listening. I think it's do not despise the nut; it will one day become a palm tree. And what I see in that is be circumspect on all that you do, meaning that everything starts from a seed in some form or fashion. And circumspection is simply seeing things from the whole 360 degrees of its development. And in that, you're able to predict, in a sense, what can occur. And that's positive or negative. I like how Hubner uh, related it to both positive and negative, things that will grow if you nurture it, which reminds me of that proverb, indigenous American proverb that is, you have two wolves living inside of you. The one you feed will be the one that gets strong, a good one and a bad one. If you feed the good one, it'll get strong. If you feed the bad one, it'll get strong. So the proverb for me just means be circumspect in all that you do and don't take a small thing lightly.
Love it. Love it. Thank you so much, Toyoti, for your interpretation of this proverb. Let me pull to refresh so I can see who's next. Sarah, I hope I say your name correctly. Sarah is a development economics scholar. Welcome to our daily African proverb. Please share with us your interpretation of today's proverb, Sarah.
Good day to everybody. I am very excited to be in this room. It's actually my first time to speak here, but the first time I listened to you guys was yesterday. I'm from Namibia, and about the proverb. It's exactly those ideas that Andrew has referred to, but I want to add a little thing to his voice that we should be able to note that some seeds are very soft and they germinate very fast, but some are hard that they take too long to germinate, and we should not give up when we are dealing with the hard ones. So we should be persistent, consistent, and focused on the bigger palm tree, beautiful and green, that we are achieving at the end of the journey. Thank you.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing, Sarah. And now we're going to introduce our next speaker, Bibi. Welcome back, Bibi. And I always love that quote you have on your bio. I choose pain over numbness any day. Ask me why. And I like that. Would you please share with us, Bibi, your interpretation of today's proverb? Bibi, thank you. Oh, I think I was on mute. Yes, Bibi, I am now going to introduce you. Please share with us today your interpretation of today's proverb.
Right, thank you. Hi, sorry, I was just getting home from dropping the older girl to school. I'm here. Thank you guys. And Simon, thank you so much for hosting this room daily. And my proverbs for today. I had two things in mind that popped on my mind when I first saw it, and also read it as well. My first one will be um, women power. And I say that because it's been centuries and years that we've been fighting and working towards the future, which is now, um, and also we still have more work to do. But it started off with one person, one seed, one dream that we had, and we never gave up. And now we have a female vice president. Who knows what the future holds? But yeah, in a funny way, that was the first thing that popped in my mind, so I had to share it. And the second one is I'll use my testimony as well. When I got hit and there was no hope for me to ever walk again. But there was one orthopedic told that came to me to my room when everyone was gone, because I was he knew how much I love running and how much love I have for sports and athleticism. So he told me that anything is possible. No matter what the outcomes are right now, anything is possible. And I will do my best at putting you in the right directions with the right people to make sure that your dreams will come true, as long as you do the work and you listen. And I know you can do it. And I already know you have so much drive, and you will get there before you know it. And I took that word to my heart. And he was absolutely right, because when they told me I may not be able to walk again, I was able to walk again within 3 months. Within the first 2 months, I was able to walk using a walker. And a few weeks later, I was able to walk on my own. And within 3 months total, I was able to walk for a whole mile. And now, in the month of August, I ran for a whole 100 miles. So all this came from that one seed, that anything is possible as long as we do the work. So that's my take for today. Thank you so much, and I am complete.
Thank you so much, Bibi. I like the share. And when you say women power, what I learned from that, you should never underestimate any human being, because who they are right now, they may become something greater later in life. And as long as you have that faith, that belief that you can achieve, you can. Now I will pass on the mic to my brother Simon, who will continue leading the room. Thank you, brother Simon.
Thank you so much, my brother Ivnia. I truly, truly appreciate your leadership. And I would love for everyone in the room to be on the lookout because my brother Ivnia and I are working on the blog the Daily African Proverbs blog, where you will be able to read some of the nuggets from this room and from the conversations that we have in this room. We are putting in a lot of work. By the end of this month, you'll be able to start enjoying the match from some of our conversations. I drink coffee every time I'm in this room because it's 6 a.m. whenever the Daily African Proverbs is happening, especially in Seattle where I am. So we are looking at creating mugs with some of these proverbs, merchandise with some of these proverbs, and also experiences with some of these proverbs. We are hoping we can even create, in-person and virtual gatherings where we can deepen our conversations. I'm really grateful, Ivnia, and I'm really grateful, Bibi. But now I want to introduce Ash Diallo, who, I have a lot of respect for Ash. She's, an amazing leader. She's an English coach. She's a speaker. And she's also a senior consultant in risk management and compliance. She's a law professor, a mother, and also a spouse. Ash Diallo is also going to do the recap with me today on Instagram. Every day, right at the end of the Daily African Proverbs room, we started this amazing concept where we share, just the summary, 15-minute live on Instagram, where we share what was surprising, what was the biggest lesson, and also what stood out during this conversation. So join us there right after this conversation. And again, Ash, the mic is yours. Thank you so much.
Wow. Hello, everyone. Greetings. I am so happy. Thank you so much, Simon. And hello to Ivna, whom I'm just meeting now. As you said, Simon, I was on vacation in Senegal, in Dakar. That was a beautiful experience. I got to reconnect with the motherland, see the family, meet new people. It was truly wonderful. And I did miss you guys, but I've been following the recaps on Instagram as well as the back channel where we try to connect and share with each other. So thank you so much. Well, my interpretation of today's proverb is quite the same as everyone else, I think. I did, think about big companies like Amazon, Apple, and others where, at the beginning it was just one small, tiny idea, but then it blossomed into something which is now so much bigger than what it had been before. And it kind of helps me to also stay on my path where I'm having this personal journey, to move from my career as a consultant in a Fortune 500 company to becoming my own boss and becoming a coach. And I did have people ask me, wow, why would you do that? Why would you quit a company that is so big with a nice salary, advantages, and so on to become a coach? And at the beginning, I did not quite know what to answer to that question. But, this type of proverb kind of guides me to say, well, today it does look like just becoming a coach, but to me, it is so much more than that. It is impactful. It's taking kids' hands, young women, young men, young Black people, and tell them, you see this thing that you want to do, you can actually do it. You can actually achieve it, when really they don't have anyone in their environment to tell them that, and to help them find a job, to help them find a training, a position in society where they feel honored to be part of our society, right? So this is my journey, and this is truly inspiring. I'm so happy to be here and share it with you guys. And do join us on the Friday sessions where we try to bring a little bit of French into the scene, and also speak to our French brothers and sisters, or anyone actually in the world who does know a little bit of French. So thank you so much, Simon, again, and Ivna and Bibi, Lexi, Juwan, and everyone else who's been sharing their interpretation. I am supposed to introduce Juwan, right? Or W? Yes, it's W.
No, Lexi.
Lexi Malone. Okay.
Yes. The amazing Lexi. By the way, Lexi was our special guest yesterday. So if you watch the Instagram live from yesterday, you will learn a little bit about Lexi. But if you go to YouTube, then you will actually learn a lot more about Lexi. And she's such a powerful, human being. But Ash, I'll pass you the mic.
Wonderful. So Lexi Malone is a voiceover artist by choice. And, I think she loves her voice, and we could love her voice too. She dresses for less guru. I don't know what that means, but maybe you can explain later. She's a queen of forgiveness. Oh, that's beautiful. She's a lady with the sunshine smile, and she's an avid reader, also a speaker. So do feel free to, click on her icon and go through her profile and learn a bit more about her, or go to our session about her on Instagram and YouTube. The floor is yours, Lexi. Hello.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you all for the wonderful words of encouragement and just blessing me this morning. Thank you. I greatly appreciate that. And I also wanted to say wow to everyone's perspective of the proverb this morning. It definitely did, make me think in different terms today. I was really like, and actually, Ash, you had touched on what my perspective was. I was hoping, I was like, oh, maybe she'll say it and then I won't have to explain. But you did, you touched on it really, really well, my perspective. But before I share my perspective, I want to just share my cousin Vito. Yes, she's down here in the room. That is my cousin. Good morning, Vito. I just had to give her a family shout out right there. That's my family. So, but my perspective this morning on the proverb, actually, and I love Simon, the way that you had the picture, because every time I look at the picture that you had up, it actually spoke volumes to me. Because when Simon gives the proverbs, I always just immediately go to Instagram just so I can continue to look at it, so it can kind of sink in for me. So in looking at the picture to the proverb, immediately the first thing that came to my mind was children. And if you think about it, not to say that people despise children or anything like that, but everybody knows that children have a way of, just being themselves, of because we actually we're domesticated as a people. Children come out and they don't know anything. We mold them. So people always seem to, and I'm finding this increasingly, that people don't watch what they put in to children. And because one day that child will be a tree. And what do trees provide? Shade. We're going and children are coming. They're our future. We got to watch what we do with, to, for them. We got to do that. And that's what I felt like. And it was really nice that you had them on there, the boys and the babies. I was just like, wow, you had kids on there. And that's immediately what I thought of when I seen this proverb: don't despise the nut. One day it will be a palm tree. Because one day, like I said, we're going. My grandmother used to always say that we're going and the kids are coming. You don't know when you're going to need that child. And a lot of times I'm finding, because some people are very cognizant, are very deliberate, and we have to be very deliberate about what we put into our kids. There's a lot of people that are very deliberate, and I saw that a display of that deliberation with Simon. He's teaching his baby the language. I respect that so much, and I let him know that. So with that, I just feel like there are people in the world that are very deliberate and do very good things and put good stock and do great things with their kids. And not saying that there are people that don't do that. Well, there are people that don't do it and go in an opposite direction, but they may be not familiar with what they should be putting into children or whatever the case may be. But I just felt that that was my perspective today, is that, you know, kids, we just got to really watch what we're doing with our future, because the children that are children are going to one day be our leaders. They're going to one day be our shade. They're going to one day be the people who determine how we move forward. You know what I'm saying? So we got to really, really watch what we put into them. I'm Lexi Malone, and I am out.
Wow, thank you so much, Lexi. And Everything you just said resonates with me because I have young kids, and it's a daily preoccupation, to be mindful of what they watch, what they listen to, what they hear, where they go. So, yeah, I totally agree with everything you said. Thank you so much. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce Juwan. Welcome, Juwan. So she has experience in finance, law reform, public policy, negotiation, and mediation. She's a climate justice advocate, and she loves to mentor to make the world a better place. Thank you, Juwan. Can we have your interpretation?
Thank you very much, Ash, for that beautiful introduction. Thank you, Simon, for hosting this space, and just to everyone who's here. I actually view today's proverb, do not despise a nut. One day it will be a palm tree. And I am seeing this particular room as that because I believe Simon started small and it's gaining traction. Everyone is interested. I see him wanting to publish. He was talking about partnering with Yvna to come up with a blog. And it's because of that determination that he had. He did not know that it would be this big, but because of the patience that he has, the patience that he held, it will actually be a forum where all of us are coming to just learn and just be in touch with our ancestors. And also for me, my own interpretation is always do not despise something that it's small. We start small, whatever it is, and just continuously nurture it, because there's also a proverb that says that a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So what we need to do is always be patient, always have faith, and stay encouraged, knowing that at the end of the day, when we keep the vision in focus, then we shall eventually be able to meet our vision. So thank you very much. I like what's her name? Lexi's interpretation of nurturing kids. I'm a mother as well, and I see my kids have grown, and it's because of just the patience that I had with them, the values that I've placed in them, that has made them to be, the people that they are today. So thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you, Juwan. I think we will talk about it after on Instagram, but I agree. I think the daily African proverb and the African Father in America Club is a perfect illustration of this proverb, right? It was an idea at first of Simon's to, gather people here and have a conversation. And it has had so much impact here on Clubhouse ever since, and outside of Clubhouse as well. And maybe I don't know, but it might be the longest running show here on Clubhouse, Simon. I don't know. Or at least the most consistent, because you're every single day. I don't know how you do.
Yes, I agree. I've been testing myself with these daily African proverbs because if you want something to be something, you have to do it repeatedly until you become that thing. And now, before January, a lot of people did not associate me with African proverbs. But now, even off of Clubhouse, in person, there are people who like friends. I'm in a men's group in Seattle, and none of these men have ever been into this room. But they tell me that keep sending those African proverbs. I really value those things, And it surprises me when that happens. And then my father-in-law is not African, and he texts me and says, "Oh, that one was really good today," and of course my daughters, when they wake up, they run to the office where I am right now. They ask me what the proverb is, and then they run off and they go and talk about it on their own. When I finish the session, they tell me what their interpretations are. And then, the Saturday sessions where we've had kids, sharing their interpretations has also been one of those sessions that have been so impactful to me. Just listening to what children say about what we're doing here. And for me, everything I do, I put so much thought into it even before I do it. And that's why I know the value of what we are doing here every day. And that's why we are now live streaming it on YouTube. And for example, yesterday we were discussing a proverb from Mozambique, and we had someone from Mozambique on YouTube with us chatting about the proverb. So this is why we are doing this, really to change the narrative about Africa, but also to connect at a deeper level with people of African descent from across the world. So thank you, Ash. I'll pass you the mic again.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if I could do it like on this level of seriousness. It's a true lesson to every single one of us. So I will go ahead and introduce W. Well, there is not much description, but she's on a quest for knowledge, obviously, which I think leads her this stage, correct? So the floor is yours. You can give us your interpretation.
Hello, all.
Hello.
I'm Wanda. I didn't put much on this because I at first just started when they had the Android version. I went ahead and pulled up the Android version so I could pull people into Clubhouse that didn't have Apple phones. But I'm loving everything I'm hearing, and I also, like Lexi, thought about children, about everybody's been talking about basically about not despising the small things, but I was thinking about not despising the hard things. And I had read a scripture in the Bible that was talking about despise not one of these little ones, because their heavenly Father is watching over them. And I thought about how we don't have our children for nothing. We were meant from the beginning to be their parents. So I was thinking about me being a single parent of two girls, 12 years apart, and looking at my grandsons. There's some things that have gone on that I was thinking, despise not the day of hard things. And I'm thinking about how a nut can be. If you think about a nut, I was thinking about a walnut that has a real hard shell. The nuts are so hard to crack, but if you apply enough pressure, sooner or later that nut will crack and it'll bloom. Thinking about if you have children that are, um, I won't say the terrible twos, I call them the terrific twos, because that's what I'm speaking, terrific, ness into those children. But some of them seem to be hard-headed or a nut, you know. But if you apply enough pressure and continue, like someone said, put in the work, repetition, you know, still, a lot of times I remember saying, I didn't raise that child to be like that. But then you start to see what you truly seeded into them starting to bloom through the weeds that seem to be choking out what you had put in. And just like Lexi said, I thought about those trees being the palm, how the palm grows tall and everyone just looks up to it, and it does become shade. And then that palm tree also has a little bit of that nut still in it. It's going to be hard. The winds come, the storms come, and it bends and it bows, but it won't break. So that's my interpretation. Don't despise the hard things. Continue on by that pressure, and you'll see the blossoming of your hard work. I'm done.
Wanda, thank you. I hadn't thought about this one, to be honest. So it's always beautiful to have the different point of views of people who come on stage. Anyone else, feel free to join us anytime during these sessions, especially on Friday for the French edition, where we try to speak a little bit of French. And also, I think it is Saturday for the kids edition, Simon, isn't it?
Yes. Saturday for the kids edition, and Fridays for the French edition. And as we continue growing the Daily African Proverbs, we've been having more guests. So a lot of the time you'll join the room and you'll find that the first 30 minutes we are interviewing a guest whose story aligns with the proverb of that day, or a guest that comes from the country where the proverb comes from. For example, this Monday we were joined by Hamed Omar, who was actually in Somaliland, and we were discussing a proverb from Somalia, and we learned so much about the difference between Somaliland and Somalia, and how Somaliland got its independence, and the poetry and the artistry and just the growth of Somaliland. So if you want to, these sessions are becoming much more intentional than these sessions have been meaningful, but I feel like all along we've just been, we've been nurturing something bigger than we actually even thought. There are conversations that have been involved in lately in regards to the future of this room and the African Wisdom Club that that is very, very satisfying. I'll just stop there and invite Ivnea to share just his closing remarks briefly, and then Ash to share just her closing remarks briefly. But join us on Instagram right after this room, where Ash and I are going to talk about the three top takeaways from today's conversation. The first one is what stood out, the second one is what was surprising, and the last one is what was the biggest lesson from today's conversation. But before Ivnea speaks, I want to give a shout out to definitely everyone in the room, but starting all the way from the bottom, Mia, Lynn, Carol, Mag, and I also see Mira, Fred, and I see Angwatola. I also see Jasmine and Jaber, and of course Wanda and Paula, and my brother Digital Humanitarian Philip, and then I see Ambuso and Jacob and Samantha and Dako Hai and Danielle and Guilaine and Vito and Roger and Kesiwa and Juwan, of course Lexi and Sarah and Toyoti. Thank you all for being here with us. Please let your friends know that we are now doing this at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Schools are now open. We are not doing it at 7 a.m. like it used to be. So help us spread the word, and join us tomorrow again, same time, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's 4 p.m. East African Standard Time, and 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Ivnea, share with us your closing remarks briefly. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brother Simon. All of you in this room have something special in you because you have value. You exist. Anyone that exists has value. If you have a dream, something inside of you, a seed that you want to grow, do not underestimate that seed. Do not despise that seed. If you work on it, you keep the faith, you keep pushing, one day that seed will eventually become a palm tree. To this session, every share was just amazing, connected. We all shared the same ideas about that seed, about that something that we have in us that sometimes we underestimate. But if we keep pushing at it, if we keep working, if we are resilient, even when the times are hard, we keep working at it, one day we will be happy that we did not quit on working. We did not quit working that dream, working that job, working that business, that idea. Thank you so much, Simon, for this proverb. It really challenged me and inspired me at the same time. Thank you, everyone. I yield the mic back to you, Simon.
Thank you, my brother Ivnia. I'm grateful for your leadership and for your support today. Hey, Ash, I'll let you close us out. And for everyone else who might have just joined us in the room, please join us on Instagram right after the end of this conversation for the recap of today's Daily African Proverbs with Ash Diallo.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, I don't have much to add because Ivna really said it all. It's difficult to come after you, Ivna. But truly, I'm here to learn, and I'm humbled. And everything you said, Ivna, really resonates with me. And I try to repeat it to myself every day because, people have this belief that when you start a journey that is about your passion, that it is always pleasant and that it's always easy somehow, but it is not really. It can be very challenging, even if it's your passion. So you need to remind yourself, to keep going at it. That's all I have to say. Thank you. And join us on Instagram, as Simon said. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Take good care of yourself. See you tomorrow, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And if you missed any part of today's conversation, please go on YouTube and just use my name, Simon Javan Okelo, and you'll find today's conversation, which is already there. And, Jay, I just want you to know that I see you and I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. All right. Have a nice day.
African father in America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Africa, tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze.
You are listening to African Father in America podcast by Simon Javan Okelo, live from Seattle.